mean, most of this is stuff that I think can personally help me.
Oh, I love this.
Or just verses that I liked, I'm going through and whatever. So I'm starting with the New Testament, moving forward. But I'm not like a biblical expert, and I didn't become a Christian because I'm a biblical expert, right? I became a Christian because of a personal experience I had with God. When I was in Israel, I was obviously moving around the country with a group of people who I didn't know when we first got there, and soon became friends of mine. So we started this joke. Our tour guide, Peter, he would say, we'd go to this place and he'd say 99.99999% chance Jesus was right here. And in very rare cases, maybe 2 cases, there's like a 99.99999% chance Jesus was here. We're almost certain of it, right? So we would take that and, we would look at each other. I'm not going to say his name. I shouldn't say his name. Look at each other. 100%. 100% chance he was here, right? 99.99999% chance. Might as well be 100. 100% chance he was here. And then, we're walking down the street. 100% chance. And then we just start looking at each other. We're in the bathroom. 100%. 100% here. 100% there. 100% everywhere. We're at a bar. 100%. We're at a restaurant. 100%. We're in whatever awkward place, 100%, just 100% all over the place. And we started this in the Galilee region, and by this point we're in Jerusalem, and we're walking through I think we were walking through the Muslim quarter, and we had not made the
I definitely think I've been censored, because we went from
heard this in passing or anything like that.
We used to have 3,000
I did try to justify
followers,
my brain by saying
600, 300.
I was like, we had not made this joke.
We haven't been over 200, not followers. We haven't been over 200 viewers in
he was riding his bike, and he stopped his bike.
Over a week.
Hey, and we're like, what? And he looks at me and he points. He says 100%. And we were both like in shock, right? I mean, I'm like, okay, that's really weird. And by the way, another major portion of this that I'm completely leaving out is that I had been praying every day that I was in Israel that God would reveal himself to me. Every single day, I was praying that God would reveal himself to me while I was in the Holy Land. I didn't believe in God, right? I didn't believe in Jesus necessarily, right? So I was, but I wanted to. So I was desperately praying every single day. Please reveal yourself to me. Please reveal yourself to me. Give me a sign. Give me something. Do something for me to show me that you are real, right? And so we're in Jerusalem and this happens, 100%. And I'm like, didn't know what to do at first. And even just thinking about it now, I'm like, I gaslight myself into did that really happen, or am I just full of it, right? Because it seems so outrageously insane, right? And I've heard a lot of stories prior to becoming a Christian. I've heard a lot of stories, this miraculous thing happened, and I'm just hearing it, and I'm like, yeah, that you're just full of it, you're just if you actually believe that happened, you're crazy, right? And then this happens, and now I actually do the same thing to myself and convince myself that I'm crazy, right? And so at first I dismissed it. YWestY, thank you for the $5 super chat. I like your work in pop-ups on campus. Thank you so much. How can we get an upgrade? Make better professional signs. We're working on it, guys. We're working on getting better signs for the Fearless Tour. But yeah, so anyway, I dismissed that at first. I told myself that there had to have been a logical explanation for this. There has to be, he must have heard us joking around about it. There had to have been something. And by the way, when I was praying for evidence in Israel, when I was praying for God to reveal himself to me in Israel, I wasn't, I didn't pray. I fully wasn't a Christian. I fully hadn't been in decades at this point, at least since I was 14. Probably even younger, maybe 13 or 12, right? When I stopped believing in God. I never prayed, right? I only prayed. I could think of one time that I prayed between being 12 years old and and this point. And that was when I started dating my girlfriend. I prayed that things would work out between her and I, because it didn't seem like it was going to at first, right? And it worked. It did. It worked out. And that's the only time I can think of that I prayed, between the time that I stopped believing in God to this point where I am begging God to reveal himself to me. So I dismissed it at first, and I just told myself it must be, the cat is meowing. I told myself that it must have been a coincidence of some kind. I told myself that it must have been, there must be some explanation for how or why this happened. And I
think it'd be much.
Life, and I didn't convert.
I understand y'all are saying Tommy's live, but I think it'll be much more beneficial to sit here and listen to this for a little bit.
And
Tommy's just gonna be sitting there.
I wasn't a Christian.
Screaming at people. I mean, we
can
watch that.
I continue to grapple
here
with
in like 5 or 10
issue.
minutes. This is beautiful right here. Let's listen to this for a minute.
You die and everything ceases to exist issue. Then I went to Israel again in August. You guys probably remember this trip. This is the trip
we'll get to Tommy. Don't worry.
I went to Gaza on. As I was leaving Israel, I couldn't check in. There was some issue with the El Al app. El Al is the airline. I couldn't check into my flight for some reason. And I wasn't expecting there. I don't know why I was expecting there not to be a lot of people at Ben Gurion Airport. Obviously, there was a ton of people there. And I thought it would be fine. I just, I get in line. There's probably 400 people in line waiting to get through. And I figured just because LL security, they have to come to you and screen you personally. They'll see that my flight's about to leave, and they're going to get me out of there. But it wouldn't let me check in. So I'm like, I'll just check in when I get to the desk. It starts to get really tight. If I don't get up there soon, there's no way I make the flight back to America. And just like that, Rudy Rockman walks in. If you don't know who Rudy Rockman is, look him up, right? Rudy Rockman is an incredible person who has himself had miracle after miracle occur. He's been in Nigerian prison.
You all can leave. I don't care.
He's obviously a Jew, lives in Israel, but it's just look into him, right? So Rudy walks in, and he sees Xavier DeRusso because he's a black guy with bleach blonde hair, and he's very easy to spot. And so he grabs Xavier. He's like, let's go to the VIP thing. I'm not even aware at this point that there's a VIP section of the airport. And then he grabs me. So we go to the VIP section, and once we get there, we're at the expedited thing or whatever. Rudy gets us in, and we don't have status or anything. We're just in the general line. And the lady at the VIP line says, "You would have missed your flight if Rudy didn't bring you here." And I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Well, you didn't check in." I'm like, I tried to check in. The app just wasn't working. She's like, "They would not have let you on that plane, but we're gonna make sure you get on the plane." I'm like, "Okay, that's great." So at this point, if Rudy didn't come and intervene, I wouldn't have been getting on the flight. Then we get to the passport line. No, first we get to the security thing, and I have so much additional screening because I have a backpack that is full of camera equipment. It's so dense they make me pull out literally every item in my backpack, and I'm still like, "No, I'm gonna miss the flight." And Rudy and Xavier wait for me, and then we get to the passport thing. You have to scan your passport or whatever to get on the plane. Rudy and we get through. Xavier's passport doesn't work, and so Rudy talked to them or something. And finally we got Xavier through. And Rudy is just a very calming person. You're in this disastrous situation that normally I'd be having a meltdown in. And Rudy is just totally calm. He's got this ginormous shofar on his back from some African deer-like creature. I have no idea. But anyway, all is well.
Hey, Poppy.
We're kind of joking about all these seemingly miraculous things that have happened. We've all been saved in one way or another from something not making our flight back to America, right? And basically getting screwed. And then we get on the plane. I'm a couple seats behind Rudy. I fall asleep and I pass out the entire flight. We're getting off the flight. Rudy and I are talking. We deboard.
Yeah, we did, Poppy. It was awesome. We got 2 subs on Twitch now.
Between us and the plane at this point. And I look at Rudy, and I'm still groggy-eyed. It's early in the morning. I just woke up from sleeping for 12 or 13 hours the entire flight. And I look at Rudy and I go, Okay, so you just have like he has this little tiny checked bag or this little tiny carry-on bag, and that's it. And I go,
that is a good point, Charlie.
Where did you hide that shofar? And I mean, the shofar is like this big.
Does Arturo or like any of those other big people that do what I do?
You know, it's straight.
Do any of them?
African, like I said, some kind of.
Does anybody know if they do?
Like, where did you
say stuff about like Jesus and the Bible and all that stuff?
On the plane.
Because that would make sense why I went from 3K to
when I saw it, it was
100 overnight.
Things to me ever. I'm like, I've never seen a shofar that big. And so, from an Ibex, okay. I don't know. I still have no idea what that is, but I believe you. That sounds right. And so we walk. He's like, okay, I'm gonna go back and get the shofar. I'm like, all right, I'm coming with you. He's like, you don't have to come with me. I'm like, nah, dude, you helped me this whole way. I'm going with you. So we go back to the plane. You can't reboard the plane, whatever. And so there's like this whole fiasco. We have to go to the carousel for our bags. We get our bags. I wait with Rudy. Finally, somebody comes off the plane with a shofar. Like somebody comes, they bring it through like the desk where if you miss your bags, they
yeah, Poppy on Twitch, guys, not YouTube.
Like they'll collect the bags that you left behind, whatever. She comes out with the shofar and she's like, you know, it's like this black lady. She's walking out with the shofar. She's like, what the heck is this thing? And she hands it to Rudy, and he blows it in the airport, and it was a whole thing. And so to me, I know these things seem small.
Yeah, that's probably what it is then. You're probably right.
You know, those probably do seem like coincidences, but if you were there, it felt like there was something going on. To me, it felt like there was something going on.
I've probably been taken off of the algorithm because I talk about Jesus.
They're not quite as miraculous as the thing that happened in Jerusalem, but it's like every time I was in Israel, weird stuff starts happening. And there were also a lot of other weird things that happened that were more deeply personal to me that I'm not going to talk about on the stream that kind of just add up to this, right? And so I went home and I kind of cooked on it and I thought about it and I kept thinking about it and I thought about what happened in Jerusalem. US Atlas, thanks so much, man. I appreciate the $10 super chat. US Atlas is my guy. My wife and I found Jesus again in the wake of Charlie's murder.
Well,